I am going to hop into a 2026 fantasy baseball best ball draft, and then we are going to talk crazy free agent news. Kyle Tucker signing with the Dodgers, and Bo Bichette signing with the Mets. Now, I'm going to hop in here just in case there's a little bit of a wait time for this draft. And then, waiting for 6 people to join this one on Underdog. Feel free if you're in here and you want to join, go ahead, join up into the draft. Let me adjust this a little bit. And then let's hop over here. We'll talk free agency. So Kyle Tucker, unfortunately, signing with the Dodgers. This kind of sucks. The rich get richer. Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers, and their lineup is starting to look a little bit crazy. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Kyle Tucker, Teoscar, Will Smith. They probably have 4 or 5 potential all-stars just in their starting lineup, not even considering pitching. And this is a 4-year deal, $240 million. It does include an opt-out after year 2, so that's something to consider for the Tucker deal as well. Of course, it's the Dodgers. There's $30 million deferred as well. $64 million of that is a signing bonus, which is just crazy. But let's go here. Kyle Tucker is still elite. And this ballpark probably helps him out even more going to Dodger Stadium. I believe I saw if he were to have played all of his games in Los Angeles, instead of the 22 homers, he would have had 29. So could be a potential uptick in home runs. I don't expect the stolen bases to drop either. 25 last season, 30 in a healthy season in 2023. And, his baseball savant is blood red, pretty much. Only thing that is a little bit down, or was a little bit down in 25, was hard hit percentage, and bat speed was a little bit down. Sorry, I just wanted to check on that just to make sure that everything's good there. But yes, 372 x WOBA, 270 xBA. His bat speed is middling, but his barrel percentage is okay. Squared up percentage is great. Now, I'm actually kind of curious about this because his sprint speed is not really the best, but he still, he does steal bases. He stole bases with the Cubs last year, stole bases with Houston, so I don't really expect that to change much. Now, other news today, Bo Bichette did sign a 3-year deal with the New York Mets for $126 million total. Now, he is expected to play third base for them, which I thought was interesting. Obviously, he's not going to play shortstop. Francisco Lindor is there, and that's his spot. So I didn't expect that. I kind of expected him maybe to play second base, but he's going to play third for them. I do think this is a severe overpay. I do see the Phillies did offer him a 7-year, $200 million deal, but I think 126 for 3 years is pretty steep. If we go to his Savant page, a couple things that stand out to me. His bat speed is really poor. Also, his sprint speed has never been good. But even if we go like 2023, his numbers were way better. let me update this because it does. Okay, so we're in. So that was a little bit laggy, but this did feel like I just saw. But yeah, with Bo Bichette, I do think this was a little bit of an overpay. JT Realmuto also did re-sign with the Phillies, so that's nice for the Phillies. I do think he's aging and probably won't be as productive as years prior, but it's still a solid catcher for the Phillies, and I think it's better than what they would have had if they didn't re-sign him. So overall, I think it's positive for them, at least a positive signing. Now, we are in, this is a best ball draft, so if you don't know how these work, you draft your team. It's 20 players total, pitcher, infield, outfield, and then positions don't matter for infield, don't matter for outfield either. And then pitchers are going to be all starters. They get the most points in this type of format usually. But you don't have to set your lineup every week. It puts in the players that perform the best each week. So it's kind of nice. You can draft and then don't have to worry about it the whole season, and it'll automatically put your best roster in for that week. Now, Ohtani, Judge go 1 and 2. That's not a surprise. We've seen that a lot. Soto goes at 3, which is very normal. I got Acuna at the 6th spot in my last draft. He gets taken here at 4, and I'm actually not mad about that because I really wouldn't mind Corbin Carroll. I also wouldn't mind Bobby Witt. Kyle Schwarber does go, so we do get Bobby Witt at the 7th spot. I think he even has room for improvement in 2026. He had a little bit of a down year last year, but in 24, he hit 32 homers, stole 31 bases. They are also moving the fences in as well in Kansas City, so I think those numbers could even tick up. That's why I'm comfortable taking Bobby Witt at 7. Now, this is something to monitor because when you do go infield early, outfield becomes a big priority in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, just because the outfield really, really falls off quick, especially in this type of format. Yeah, so Kyle Tucker follows that pickup. It's not a surprise that he's going to skyrocket up these drafts. I believe his ADP was a lot lower, but with him now signing for the Dodgers, I think he'll probably get taken in the 1st round of these pretty much every time. So when this does swing back to us, I'll be looking at guys like Brent Rooker. Yordan would be a pretty risky pick. Jackson Chourio has some upside, but hasn't performed great in this type of format. Rodriguez goes, Ramirez goes. Skubal's first pitcher in the 1st round goes. Now, I wouldn't suggest taking pitchers in the 1st round. A lot of the data doesn't support taking a pitcher in the 1st round of these formats. They tend to not do well, but if they do hit, and if you're going to do something like this, it might not be a terrible approach. Just take the top 2 guys. Obviously, if they both perform up to what their draft stock is, it could work out. Now, a lot of these outfielders are going to still be here. Rafi Devers is considered an outfielder in this format, I guess. He does get taken. That's very interesting. I do think Gunnar is going to have a great bounce back season. But I think in this spot we do need to take an outfielder because they really, really fall off quick. Okay, James Wood goes. I think we take Brent Rooker here. He's been great the past 2 seasons, and I think he can follow that up again. I get really nervous taking a guy like Yordan Alvarez. Obviously, he's a great player, but he's had a bunch of injuries these past few years and really hasn't looked like himself. So, I mean, I guess if it all works out, he's a fine pick there, but we'll take Rooker, who's done it the past 2 seasons and I think still has great homer potential in the Athletics ballpark in Sacramento. Things short porch there, so I do expect him to at least get over 30 homers on the season. And other than this guy at the 12 spot, pitchers are kind of falling a little bit in this draft. The Gunnar Henderson pick there in the second round is great. That's actually exactly what I did in the last draft. I got Acuna at 6 and then took Henderson on the wraparound in the second round. So I do like that pairing a lot. Jackson Churio goes. So we'll be at pick 31. Oh, I love a guy like Junior Caminero. Could be an awesome pick. I think Arozarena's probably going to be overdrafted this year just coming off that great season. Okay, a bunch of infielders go here. I really wouldn't mind Jarren Duran or Roman Anthony. So we're probably going to take Roman Anthony here. He really came on strong at the end of last season, and I think he can definitely build on that in Boston. He's going to be hitting at the top of their lineup, and with a full season, young player, ton of power. I think he's got some potential to be really, really good. So we started Bobby Witt, then went Rooker and Anthony, and now that we have infield and 2 outfield, I do kind of think it's just best available. I don't really I'm not hugely concerned with the actual positions the rest of the way. Pitcher, I'm going to tend to wait on pitcher in most of these drafts. I just think it's the best approach. All right, after we take Roman Anthony, Matt Olson goes. Caminero goes. Yeah, Junior Caminero is looking like a great pick in the 3rd round, I think, of these type of drafts. Now, Wyatt Langford kind of struggled last year. He definitely needs to build on what he did last year. Same with Jackson Merrill for the end of the 3rd round. I mean, I get it is a best ball type format where you're shooting for the upside, but Langford and Merrill really struggled last season at the plate. Ketel Marte goes. Harper wouldn't be a horrible pick here. Springer coming off that incredible season. I don't think that'll be repeatable. for Springer. Wow, Hunter Brown. Okay, that's interesting. Very interesting. Now, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do here. I might just go Bryce Harper in the 4th round. I think that's good value. And he was hurt a little bit last season, but just in 2024, 30 homers, 7 stolen bases, RBI potential is huge. I think he could have a nice season if he stays healthy for the majority of the season. That's interesting that Hunter Brown went there in the 4th round. I feel like he could have waited till the 5th. But I guess get your guy if you want. Yeah, I tend to think Springer, like, it's a weird outfield tier here with Springer, Ward, and Bellinger, who all just went, but I feel like they're going to fall a little bit in these types of drafts. Christopher Sanchez goes. Brandon Nimmo, Teoscar, a bunch of outfielders. See, outfielders really tend to fly in these drafts. That's why you have to lock them up early. And if you don't, you really can lose out on some great guys at the top. Now, I think... Okay, Cole Reagans goes. I was going to say pitcher could be an option here. I like Turner, but we do already have 2 infielders. I actually think Logan Webb's fallen a little bit. I think we take Logan Webb, kind of bank on a stud pitcher. And in the 5th round, I'm not mad about that at all. And then in the 6th round, we could even wrap around it with another one of these pitchers if they fall to us. Like, I like Gilbert. I like Brian Wu. I think they all have good upside. Like Gilbert, just in 2024, finished with 1,200 points in this format. He was derailed a little bit in 2025 due to injury, but I think he can quickly get back to what he did in 2024. I do still think outfield is a priority. And Trey Turner's falling a little bit here too, so that'll be interesting when he gets to us, what we want to do there. So I know Perdomo and Buxton both were like top 20 finishers last season. I don't know if it's necessarily repeatable, but I think it's worth the upside in the 5th round. I don't mind that pick at all. Okay, Gilbert goes and Wu goes. So 2 guys I talked about go to the guy at 12 who also has Scooble and Skeens. So that's an interesting build. But in this format, I guess if you go a little bit crazy and you get lucky, you could really have a great team. Yeah, I was never going to take Dylan Cease. I still think Altuve he's an outfielder in this format. I think still has great upside. Like, had a better year than Trout last year. So I would definitely take him if he doesn't get taken here. Jazz also looks like a great player in this format too. But I do really want to shore up those outfield spots. Okay, this guy auto picks, I think, in front of me. So I am just going to take Altuve in the 6th round here, filling an outfield spot, which is awesome. I thought he would be considered infielder, but that's a nice pickup in round 6, I think. And it's an interesting team. We have youth with Witt, Rooker, and Roman Anthony, and then do get a little older with Harper and Altuve. But I think overall this team looks pretty solid. Guy at number 3 has 5 outfielders and 1 infielder to start his draft, and it's actually a pretty good team. Soto, Churio, Raleigh, Springer, Yelich, and Trout. You're kind of hoping for a lot. You're hoping for a lot of luck. Just hoping for all of them to stay healthy in one season. All of them is a little bit, might be too much to ask for, but. Freddie Peralta is a nice pick there. Ben Rice goes right in front of us. I think Vinny Pasquantino could be a good pick here. Had 1,300 points last year, hit 32 homers, and I think he could even get an upgrade this season with their ballpark now moving the fences in. Now, I'm not saying that's going to help them a lot, and Kansas City is known to have a pretty poor hitting environment, but we do get Witt and Pasquantino on the same team. That's kind of fun if the Royals are good at all this season offensively. And as far as, we'll probably end up taking a bunch of outfielders on this team just because Rooker, Anthony, and Altuve is not the most ideal start, but that's okay because there are a bunch of darts you can take late in the draft. Like Dylan Cruz could have a breakout season, like a bunch of young players. Garcia is now moving to Philly. I think that actually could be a great environment for him, a great hitting environment. He should clear 20 homers easily in that ballpark. Now he's definitely getting older, but he should be a full-time player in right field depending on if they get rid of if the Phillies get rid of Castellanos, he should be a full-time player there. Okay, Joe Ryan goes. I was going to take Joe Ryan or Jesus Luzardo. Luzardo had a great season last year for Philly, and I think he can repeat that again. Oh, shoot, there's one guy in. Hopefully this guy does not take Luzardo. Okay, he does not. So we'll take Luzardo. Now we have Logan Webb and Jesus Luzardo. He had a great season last year with Philly, and I think he can definitely repeat that. He has struggled from the stretch in past years. If he can figure that out, he's great from the windup. If he can figure that out, I think he's a potential ace-type pitcher for the Phillies. And now a little bit of a glob of pitchers here in the 7th and 8th round. You got 2, 4, 6, 9 total. Really not sure what to expect from Zach Wheeler. I don't even know when he'll be back. think Suarez should be great. Have no idea what to expect from Luis Robert. I think Suarez is definitely the pick if he gets here. Wow, I'm shocked. I'm even shocked Wheeler's going this high because there really is no reports of like where he's even at. I actually think Bryce Terang's not a bad pick in this spot. Solid infielder who steals a ton of bases and has only increased the past 3 years in production. He's obviously not a lock, but there's definitely still the upside there. And I believe he's still relatively young too. I wasn't too confident taking Kyle Bradish or Michael Busch. Pavetta probably will have a bounce back season in the negative way. I mean, all the indicators suggest that he overperformed as far as ERA last year. So I think that'll tick down in 2026. Now, I'm going to have Garcia on the radar here. And then probably these pitchers. I like Schwellenbach. I really like Gore. If he could find a better environment, a better pitching environment, I think he can be really good. Wow, Jack Caglione is falling pretty far here. It'd be probably not ideal to have 3 Royals on the same team. But he's really, really falling far. And Gore goes, wow, I might just have to take that value. We are kind of weaker in the outfield as well. And there's, big time potential that he puts together a good season. Okay, he does go a pick before us. I think I'm going to go Cedon Rafaela. We need an outfielder. I also think Boston might make a move at some point, either trading Jarren Duran or moving on from somebody to free up more playing time for Rafaela, because he did look really, really good in 2025. And I think if he gets a full time of playing time, he should continue that. Bunch of pitchers here, bunch of young pitchers. In the 10th round, I think Matt Chapman's a great pick. He's done it for at least 2 seasons in a row where he's had a bunch of points. Okay, Yuri Perez goes, Alcantara goes, Pablo Lopez goes. Bunch of pitchers here flying off the board. I think Langoliers could be a good pick in this spot. But I also like Jason Dominguez. I think he's obviously still super young, has a bunch of potential. And I'm kind of okay waiting on pitching just because I know that we can get guys late that can have great seasons. And if Luzardo and Webb both pitch up to their ability, I think we should be fine for now. Do like these three guys, though. And this is 20 rounds, so you can really kind of throw darts as it gets later into these drafts. One thing I really do like about this type of format. Not really sure what to expect from Brandon Woodruff. It's actually probably a pretty good buy low spot. He pitched really well in 2022, then got injured in 23, was out 24, and then came back late in 2025. He does go there, so that won't happen for us in this draft. Luis Castillo, kind of a guy you know what you're going to get. Bubba Chandler, young pitching prospect. I think we'll take a flyer on Bubba Chandler here. So that would be our top three as of right now: Webb, Luzardo, Chandler, as far as pitchers go. So we'll see how the rest of this kind of shakes out. This Murakami for the White Sox, I don't really know much about him, but it's obviously not the best situation for a guy coming over from Japan. Numbers usually tend to dip down as well. Now that's a really good buy in the 12th round. Ozzie Albies, he was like consensus top 5 second baseman even last year, and obviously didn't have a great season last year, but could definitely bounce back. So I do think that's a solid pick. Really kind of anything's on the table. 3 pitchers, 4 infielders, 5 outfielders. I wouldn't mind another pitcher, but if an infielder does fall that's worth taking, I will definitely do it. I think Dansby Swanson's probably a good pick at this point. Spencer Steer's probably a good pick as well at this point of the draft. Okay, Carpenter goes. Swanson just has a nice floor. Like past 4 seasons, he's been right around 1,200 points if you average it out. And like with Steer, that's kind of what you're hoping for. He had a little bit of a down season in 2024 or 2025, but could definitely bounce back. I think Ozuna could be a really good buy here. Let's take Marcell Ozuna. He could just be a really good buy at that spot of the draft. I mean, he had seasons of 1,300 and 1,500 points, and getting a guy that has that potential in, the 13th round is, I mean, that's hard to come by. And I don't think anyone knows what to expect from this pitcher in Houston. Tatsui, I don't even know how to say his name. Comfortable saying Tatsui, but I have no idea what to expect from him. I think we might take a pitcher here at this spot. Evaldi goes. So I have three good options, or at least three options I like here. Okay, Pepio goes. Just with the track record, I'd probably want Rodon over Nola, but he goes. So we'll take Nola. Two Philly pitchers on this team. Also Harper on this team. And we got 2 guys from Kansas City as well. So interesting build. And what does that leave us? 6 picks left in this one. We've got 4 pitchers, 4 infield, 6 outfield. I think outfield we made up for it now later. So I'll have to hammer infield and pitching. I usually like to go about 6 or 7 pitchers in this format. You start 3 if you didn't know that. Start 3 pitchers, 3 infield, 3 outfield, and then a flex spot, which is a hitter. I was going to say, that's a nice discount for Ranger Suarez there. Don't know when Garrett Cole is going to be back. That's the thing with him. Chase DeLauder's not even called up yet. So that's interesting that he's there. I think I'm going to have to take Addison Barger. Or do we take Tovar? Let's take Tovar. He plays in Colorado. Obviously, that favors hitters really, really well. And I believe he was dealing with some injuries last season, so I think that's a good bounce back opportunity for him. And I really didn't like the pitchers that were here at this spot. Now, Roki Sasaki was... Okay, he is going to be in the starting rotation, I believe, for the Dodgers. So that's someone that I could see moving up the draft boards. It might be a 6-man rotation in Los Angeles, but I still think that's a pretty good pick, pretty good value there. South Frelick put together a pretty nice season. Drake Baldwin was offensive rookie of the year, or NL rookie of the year, I guess I should say. I think we take Frelick here. I just like his skill set, and then we're just done with outfield from here on out. We got four left. We go pitchers and infield the rest of the way. I would really like Luke Keeschel in this spot. I think he has a bunch of stolen base upside and a little bit of pop as well. So either of those players I wouldn't mind at all. Ugh, that's tough. Okay. I'm fine taking Kyle Manzardo. 27 homers last year. I think he could even build upon that. And he needs to get his on-base percentage higher. But if he does that, he can be a really good first baseman. At least offensively. Now, do need to look for pitching on the wraparound. Keller's not a bad option. McClanahan could have a bounce back. Haven't seen him in a little while, but he's an ace when he's healthy. Let's get a couple pitchers queued up there. So we just got three more picks to finish this one off. I want to see how that team at 12 took. He's got Scooble, Skeens, Gilbert, Brian Wu, and then Sonny Gray, Kevin Gosman. That's a pretty good pitching staff there for that guy at 12. All right. Do I prefer the upside or do I go with the surefire thing? Let's take Mitch Keller. Don't know if I really want two Pirates pitchers, but they did make some moves in the offseason. I think they could be significantly better than they were last year, and Chandler and Keller are two pieces of their great pitching staff. So both McClanahan and Sheehan are still here. Hopefully one of them fall to us. I'd love that. If not, I would assume we pivot to infield. Xavier Edwards could steal a million bases. Doesn't really do much else, but he can definitely steal bases. Stott has also been consistent as ever. Noelvi Marte also is someone I'm looking at who could be sneaky good in Cincinnati. And I think we're going to do it. I wanted another infielder, and it's a good ballpark for hitting. And I think he could be really good. So we'll have to end here with a pitcher now. I don't know who. Who we want here. Hurston Waldrip looked pretty good in last season. I think I'm gonna take Robbie Snelling. Young pitcher for the Marlins, definitely has upside. He really cruised through the minors and pitched really well. So that'll be our sixth starter, and that will do it for our second draft for 2026. And that'll wrap it up. The news, though, is just crazy. Tucker to the Dodgers, Bichette to the Mets for $1 bazillion. But that will wrap it up for today. I will have a video coming out soon talking about first round players. Also, what to look forward to in 2026. We also have a full NFL slate. I do have another YouTube channel, and then obviously my betting page, dealing with all sports in general. So be sure to check those out, and definitely like the stream, subscribe if you're new, and looking forward to 2026 MLB fantasy content.